Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the first lecture of week 9 of plant maintenance ME 423 elective course. In the last lectures we discuss maintenance of steam trap. Now we will look into the one of the most important equipment of any industry, or you can say the backbone of any industry. Pump you can say is the backbone of any industry, whether it is textile, power plant, pharmaceutical, or you can say pump is also a heart of any home, because if we don't have a pump, then how we can take suction from the water board line, or how we can pump the water from the underground tank to the overhead tank. So pump is the most critical equipment of an industry. So if the pump fail, then you have to suffer a lot. For exam, especially in oil industry, where there is no backup or standby pump. So in any industry you must have standby system. In case of human being, take an example of human being. Heart is also a pump. So if the pump in the human being stop, then the life stops. That's why when you go through the Bunsen fluid mechanics book, in the fluid mechanics chapter, initial chapters, a pump on the right hand side, we have a heart. A heart also is also a pump which circulates or pumps the blood throughout our body. So now, first of all, what is pumps? Pumps imparts energy to liquid being transferred by mechanical means using moving parts. By mechanical means, we also have pumps which are not operated by any external source, just human force, just like hand pump, which we use, which we also see now in different areas. Now pumps are all around us, bringing irrigation to dry fields. Pumps are used for irrigation purpose. Water to put out a fire, yes. Firefighting, pushing petroleum products through a refinery, and drinking water into our homes. It is common in Karachi that the water supply to Karachi is at halt due to the pumps at Dhabeji pumping station are out of order, or there is electricity breakdown at Dhabeji pumping station. There are numerous different types of pumps, but all pumps require an external source of energy. Although this is most often provided by an electric motor, we have most of the seen that the pump is driven by electric motor. But as we have already discussed in our previous fluid mechanics course or power plant engineering course, that we have other ways to drive a pump. Let's take an example of turbine driven pump, diesel engine driven pump. Now, as per NFPA, National Fire Protection Association requirement, in case of firefighting, the first step is to shut off the electrical power or cut down the electrical power. So if a firefighting pump is electrical or motor driven, so how you can run a pump? Because the first step is to cut out or shut down the electrical power. So you must have a generator in backup, or in industry, in addition to electrical driven pump, there are diesel driven pump installed, because diesel driven pump start easily, and you don't have to start a generator for the whole facility. Pumps can also be driven by hydraulic motor engines, or even by hand. Okay, this is the picture of the pump. This is a cutaway view of the centrifugal pump. Now, pump classes. There are a variety of ways in which pumps can be classified as per the direction, horizontal or vertical. There are also vertical pump, as you have seen in the power plant engineering Fulton electric boiler. Or most common type of division of pump is, one on the one hand we have a dynamic pump, and we have a split pump. Dynamic pump, the most common is centrifugal pump. On the display we have reciprocating pump, rotary pump, piston pump, diaphragm pump, gear pump, loop pump, screw pump. There are different, most of the, or we have multi-stage pump depending on the pressure required. Each of the pump has its own characteristic. We are not going into detail of the classification of pump, as you have already studied in fluid mechanics course. We are only going through the basic operation of positive displacement or positive displacement pump, then centrifugal pump. Then we look into the installation of the pumps, maintenance aspects of the pump, and inspection of the pump. Now, pump, this is a broad classification of pumps: dynamic, positive dynamic, centrifugal, axial, radial, open impeller, semi close, reciprocating piston, plunger, diaphragm, rotary, vane, screw. Mostly the reciprocating or positive displacement are used for viscous products. Or you must have known the basic difference between dynamic and positive displacement in fluid mechanics course. In any industry, pumps, as I have told, pump plays a vital role. For example, take an example, any petroleum industry, or you can say PSO, Shell, Chevron. The pump is used to take suction of the products being coming through the oil tankers, pumping it to the tank, and then after it taking suction from the storage tanks back to the tanker so that it can move all over across the Pakistan. For example, if we have pump, firefighting pump, and all of a sudden fire erupted, because fire do not call you that I am coming. So, and if the firefighting pump not operate at that moment, then what will happen? So this is a major thing that the maintenance personnel have to keep in mind, that pumps should be running all the time. That's why we have a standby pump or standby pump. So first of all, positive displacement pump. Positive displacement pumps, as you have learned, name after fact that they displace nearly the same amount of liquid per cycle regardless of system pressure. They take liquid, pump the liquid on the other end regardless of the system pressure. These are the piston, this is the inflow, this is outflow. It travels the fixed amount of liquid. When suction side expand, liquid flows. Suction side expand, suction side goes to left, liquid flows into the system. Liquid flows out when discharge cavity decreases. No priming is required. No priming. Positive have countless applications, but are quite often the best selection for pumping higher viscosity liquid, just like lube oil. Higher viscosity often offer accompanied by higher specific gravity. Both of these factors can greatly increase the power required by the pump. This is the view of the gear pump. Positive displacement. Positive displacement, as we have already told you, that will produce the same flow at a given RPM no matter what the discharge pressure is. They take a specified amount of liquid, pump it regardless of the discharge pressure. A positive displacement cannot be operated against a closed valve on the discharge side of the pump. In centrifugal pump, if you have a discharge valve closed, so for a short period of time centrifugal pump will work. But in case of positive displacement pump, if the discharge line is closed, so after some time it may cause damage. If a positive displacement pump is allowed to operate against a closed discharge valve, it will continue to produce flow which will increase the pressure in the discharge line until either the line bursts or the pump is severely damaged or both. This is the view. Supply tank from which product is coming, pump, positive displacement pump is pumping bus to the discharge tank. This is supply tank, this is a positive displacement pump taking suction, and if the discharge valve on the pump side is closed or the discharge on the side or the inlet valve of the discharge tank is closed, then the line will burst out after a certain time. So we must have a return valve or bypass valve. Bypass valve will bypass the product to the supplyant. It is a common practice in industry to install bypass valve on the discharge line, so that if we have a discharge valve, or for example, take an example, a hydrant. in which pumps are running to fill the tankers, and if there are 4 tankers filling simultaneously, and all of a sudden by any means that 4 valves are closed, so the pumps are running on the back side, and if the 4 valves are closed, so there is a back pressure on the pump, so there is a bypass valve which will move the water back to the supply line. This is a common practice in the industry. Now centrifugal pump. Centrifugal purpose of centrifugal pump is to convert energy of prime mover, maybe electrical motor or turbine or diesel turbine, first into velocity of kinetic, then into the pressure energy of fluid that is being pumped. The energy changes occur by virtue of 2 main parts of the impeller and the volute of the diffuser. The impeller is the rotating part that converts driver energy into kinetic energy. The diffuser is stationary part that converts the kinetic energy into the pressure energy. This is a view. This is the impeller. This is the casing volute shape or diffuser. This is the eye of the impeller. This is the inflow side. This is the hub plate on which impeller is mounted. This is the casing. These are the blades. Now, first of all, we see the video of the basic
A pump is a device that moves liquids or gases by mechanical action. All pumps have an inlet, a casing, and an outlet. During operation, liquid enters the pump through the inlet located here. This side of the pump is also called the suction side. The pressure of the liquid is lowest at this point. The purpose of the pump's casing is to contain the liquid inside the pump during operation. The casing houses all of the pump's internal parts. The liquid leaves the pump through the outlet. This side of the pump is also called the discharge side. The pressure of the liquid is highest at this point. Inside the pump there is a component that physically moves the liquid through the pump. The type of component that's used determines the type of pump. Basically, pumps can be grouped into 2 general categories: positive displacement pump and dynamic pump. A positive displacement pump makes a fluid move by trapping a fixed amount of the fluid and forcing or displacing that trapped volume into a discharge pipe or discharge system. Some positive displacement pumps use an expanding cavity on the suction side and a decreasing cavity on the discharge side. Dynamic pumps impart velocity and pressure to the fluid as it moves past or through the pump impeller and, subsequently, convert some of that velocity into additional pressure. It is also called kinetic pumps. A liquid velocity passage. Types of positive displacement pump. A positive displacement pump can be further classified according to the mechanism used to move the fluid. There are 3 types. Rotary type positive displacement. Reciprocal. Rotary type positive displacement pump. The nature of rotary pump requires very close clearances between the
Example of the positive displacement rotary types are loop pump and gear pump. They are commonly used in industry to pump the furnace oil, as in PSO. I was in PSO. Then the gear pumps or the rotary loop pumps are used for pumping the furnace oil.
Rotating pump and the outer edge, making it rotate at a slow, steady speed. If rotary pumps are operated at high speeds, the fluids cause erosion. Positive displacement pumps fall into 3 main types. Gear pumps. Gear pumps are screws turning against. As the rotor orbits, the vanes extends, plungers, or membranes, while valves restrict fluid. Once the plunger pushes back, heating pumps are plunger pumps, similar to manually special pumps. Parts of the pump: the impeller and the volute or casing. The function of the pool pumps are subdivided into several categories.
Centrifugal pump can also be classified into axial flow, mixed flow, depending on the application required.
Axial flow pumps, 90 degree.
I'm not going into detail of this. You have already learned in the fluid mechanics 2
Radial
course.
flow chart using the Venturi effect and mine pumps are centrifugal.
Now back to the lecture. Now we start our main discussion. Components of centrifugal pump. A centrifugal pump in a short has two main components. A rotating component comprised of impeller and a shaft. A stationary component comprised of a casing cover and the bearing. This is the view of the pump. This is the arrow indicates the shaft. This is the coupling guard. On the left hand side we must have a motor. This is a coupling guard for the protection and safety of the operational personnel. This is a shaft. This is the bearing housing. Bearing housing means the place where the bearings are stored, and you must have the basic knowledge by bearing are stored. This is this nut. What is the purpose of this nut? This nut is for the lubrication of the bearing. This is on the left hand, this is the shaft. On the right hand side, the red line shows the suction side, the upper side shows the discharge side. Water or any product comes from suction side, discharges toward the top side. This is the impeller. This is the Sarna volute casing, seal gland and seal flush line. What is the purpose of seal flush line? Seal will be discussed in the later slides. The purpose of seal flush line is to have a cooling of the seal, because after some time the seal will also becomes hot. There are also means of cooling the sealing, as it may have oil bath or built-in liquid, but in this type we have line coming from discharge side toward the suction side for cooling. This is a seal gland. Seal gland house the seal. This is another view. This is discharge nozzle. This is a suction nozzle. This is the impeller, shaft, seal, casing, bearing. There are different types of bearings, solid, radial, axial, depending on the type of pump. Oil ring. Oil ring are used for the lubrication of bearing. As the shaft rotates, the oil ring picks up the oil from this chamber. This has the oil. Then it will lubricate as it will move, shaft will pick up the oil through the oil ring, and it will move the oil towards the bearing for the lubrication. Now, casing are generally of two types, volute and circular. The impellers are fitting inside the casing. This is the shaft. These are the bearings. I have seen in my life in PSO the shaft breaks into two pieces. The shaft dive was 25 mm, means 1 inch, and made of SS. This is mainly due to the bypass valve of the pump was pinch or close, because operational personnel there is always a fight between operation and the maintenance. That maintenance operation said that maintenance do not proper do work, they are always time sleeping. This is a common thing. I have worked around 6.6 years and around 2 or 3 months in PSO in the maintenance department, and the maintenance department has no backup. We are 2 mechanical engineer, 1 diploma holder, and the fitter electrician under our team are non-diploma holders. And we may have some of the time we don't have any fitter electrician in the shift, and we are not running a single plant of 83 acre. We are running 3 plants, one of 83 acre, one is 100 acre, and another one is around 20-25 acre in a vicinity of 14 or 15 kilometer. And the 3 plants are interconnected by pipeline which are going through the roads. So I'm not discussing about PSO, I am discussing about the fact that maintenance has to do the work in a worst scenario if you are not doing a job in a company which owns maintenance. So the valve on the discharge, the bypass valve on the discharge side was closed due to operational person has in mind that if we close the discharge well, then operation will run quickly, we can quickly fill the operation, and we will make a record that 500 or 600 tankers filled in a day. There is a common practice that though 600 I reminded that there is a record that 524 tankers, oil tankers of 40,000 liter capacity filled in 24 hours. The next day everyone was congratulating the operation department that they have done a good job. On the other side, our maintenance manager emailed to the head office that Mubarak to operation department on 524 filling the tankers. On the other hand, 3 pump got damaged, 2 shaft broken and 1 pump impeller damage due to the reason that they have run all the 10 pumps. In normal practice 8 pumps are in operation, 2 are in standby. Furnace oil positive displacement pump, 8 pumps in operation, 2 standby. They run all the 10 pumps, close the bypass valve. So what will happen? So this is the discharge volute, this is the impeller, this is the suction side, this is a volute casing, this is a solid casing. Now we may have side section top discharge. Just in this case we have side section top discharge, or we have top section top discharge. The water comes or the other products come from this side and discharge from this side. Now another channel comes seal chamber stuffing valve. Seal chamber stuffing valves are the main components of pump. Refer to a chamber either integral with or separate from the pump case housing or casing that forms the region between the shaft and the casing where sealing media is stored. As we know, on the casing we have impeller. In impeller the shaft is connected, the shaft goes toward the coupling side, and on the other side of coupling there is a motor side coupling. Now the place where the shaft leaves the casing, so there is a gap between the casing and the shaft, so any air or any other thing might enter into the place due to this clearance. So we must have to close the clearance between the shaft and the casing. So there are different types of methods to seal that thing. When the sealing is achieved by means of mechanical seal, the chamber is commonly referred to as seal chamber. Mechanical seal, as it highlighted in this case, this is the mechanical seal, this is the mechanical seal, this is a shaft, this is a shaft, this is a rotating shaft. Okay. When the sealing is achieved by means of packing, the chamber is also referred to as stuffing valve. Packing may be due to labyrinth packing, just like a cloth, but it is hard cloth. Normally in case of pump use labyrinth packing, but labyrinth packing has drawback that it will fail early due to as the shaft rotates it will erode or wear out early. Both the seal chamber and stuffing valve have the primary function of protecting the pump against leakage at the point where the shaft passes out through the pump pressure casing. The main aim of the sealing is to protect the pump against the leakage. So the seal purpose is to ensure that the pressure inside the casing remains the same. This is the gland holds the seal. The gland, when part of seal chamber or stuffing valve, it gives a packing or mechanism the desired fit on the shaft seal. Desired fit means it holds the shaft, it holds the packing on the shaft. This is another view of the general components. As I have told you about the oil bath, this is the shaft. An oil bath feed by a bottle oil is the most common lubricant for sandwich. This is the oil system. As the shaft rotates, the oil ring picks up the oil and moves to the bearing for the lubrication purpose. This is another view of this is the side section, top discharge, casing, cutaway view of impeller, mechanical seal. This is the mechanical seal. This is the mechanical seal. Shaft, side glass for viewing the level of the oil in the oil bath, bearing housing where the bearings are installed, radial bearing, for permitting the radial movement. Thrust bearing, shaft key. What is the purpose of the shaft key? Has anyone know? Learn what is shaft key. Okay, what is the purpose of shaft key? You must have knowledge of shaft key. This is another general components of centrifugal pump. Impeller. Impeller is the main rotating part that provides centrifugal acceleration to the fluid. Closed impeller, semi-open impeller, open impeller. And you must have the basic knowledge where open impeller use where closed impeller. For clean liquid, what impeller is used? For dirty liquid, what type of impeller is used? Sometimes the impeller get clogged, and two or three you must have keep in mind. What are the major thing that we keep into the mind while selecting a pump? First of all, the fluid, whether it is viscous or non-viscous, whether it is required high head or high flow rate, and the other things are what is the pressure required. Then we select whether we require centrifugal pump or positive spin. Then we do the calculation of the piping, the pressure drop. We calculate the pressure drop. Then we select the suitable pump, what GPM is required, what head is required. And similar to the air conditioning system or other, we must keep a safety factor in mind while selecting a pump. Okay, and we must have a standby pump on the other side. Now let us see another. Now this is all for today lecture. We will inshallah start our week 2 second lecture with in the next lecture we will go through the installation of the pump, the maintenance of the pump, and the inspection of centrifugal. Today we learned about basic what is the why pump is the backbone, what are the basic types of pump, general components of centrifugal pump. Okay.